I texted you all. I took the risk. I was like, should I not? And I was like, fuck it. I hit up your girls, Chyna, Stef, and Tori, and they are all back.
I'd walk by a mirror. I grew up a dancer. I'm in front of the mirror all the time. So I'm like, how do I look? Ooh, am I bloated? Am I this? Am I that?
I only know who I am for other people and what other people expect and want of me. That really was like the story of my life.
Yeah. It's not this outward thing that you have to change and chase and be. It's just unleashing and discovering and being honest with yourself and finding the new version of you who's already in there.
I literally was like, I'm never working out again. Let me just roll it out and sit there and see what happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And guess what happens? Mm-hmm. You move.
What's different now is I have a really positive friendship with failure. I want to keep doing it and keep learning. That. It's so cool to see the true power of women.
This is Tone It Down. All right, ladies, welcome. How are you? Welcome to Tone It Down, the much anticipated new podcast just for you. So today's podcast, the first one, is with your trainers from New Year, New TIU, which we've just started last week in the app. So in your Tone It Up app, I'm so excited seeing all of you checking in, seeing all of you loving it. Gang's back together. And at the end of the 3-day shoot, we sat down and had a great conversation together. It was me, Stef, Tori, Chyna. We hadn't seen each other in like 5 years. So this is a 2-part episode. So you want to make sure you subscribe so you don't miss part 2, because you're going to love it. You're going to love everything coming here too. And also next week is an AMA. So if you want to leave a comment, a question, or anything that you want to talk about on Tone It Down, go to speakpipe.com/KarenaDawn. And I may choose your question or suggestion or comment to play on air and answer. Enjoy this episode and make sure you share it with your loved ones. It's Tone It Down, episode 1. Hello, welcome back to Tone It Down. Guess who's in the house? Yeah. We have Tori, we have Chyna, we have Stef. We just wrapped up the Tone It Up shoot here in Austin, Texas. Gang's back together. We've been preparing for this for a while. I texted you all. I took the risk. Mm-hmm. I was like, should I not? And I was like, fuck it. What's the worst thing that can happen if you take a risk?
Mm-hmm. And look where we are.
And
we're all
they
here.
said yes.
Yeah, of course we said yes.
They said yes.
All right. So how do you feel after the shoot?
Really sore, but very proud of myself because it was intimidating being like, okay, I got to do all these workouts while I'm very pregnant. And I did it. And I feel great. It feels good to feel sore. So yeah. And great energy. There was a lot of great energy. So I think I just feel very light and happy and excited to be here.
I am so happy to be back with you guys. So I'm just like euphoric. I'm so happy. It's the best people to be around, like positive energy, kind souls. It's awesome. And I'm super proud of all of us because, okay, I got to say, Tori, pregnant, and also 2 kids that you're dealing with, comes here doing all of these workouts. Stef, about to run a marathon on Sunday, doing all of these workouts. And then I brought my 1-year-old and just got over being sick. So I was like thinking about it. I'm like, dang. We've like really increased our capacity for life since the last time we saw each other or since the last time we worked together. So super proud.
Yeah.
I think I'll play off of what Chyna said. I think if you zoom out and think macro here, it's something that's not to be taken for granted, that you can just roll in and have this seamless, vibey relationship where you can be on set with your best friends and just riff and bounce energy off of each other. It's a completely positive environment. There's no criticism. There's only this uplifting feeling. And yeah, as stated, Karena's jumped through so many hurdles in the recent months. Tori is on baby number 3. In Chyna, we have the joy of Kai being on set with us. So man, it's really fun to watch the evolution of your best friends. And it's so cool to see the true power of women. Yeah. And that's what Tone It Up is.
I love that. And so we were talking, we've talked, like we've been on set for 3 days and we've been talking for what, like a month or two or however long, just having this, evolving all of this and really having conversations on the phone about how we've all evolved with our relationship and with health, wellness, fitness, families, like so much has happened. So where are you each at now, mentally, physically with fitness? Because I know for myself, over the 25 years I've been in the space, like, it changes. Like sometimes I'm like the hit girl, the triathlete, the yoga girl, the hiker, the strength, and it always changes. And also the reason why I work out. So how have you evolved?
I approach my workouts with so much more appreciation, and I think more intention in every workout. Like, okay, I have a short amount of time and that's okay. And we're actually going to utilize this time to the max, and I'm going to get the most out of this workout. We're moving my body, and my mind is also more intentional of why I'm doing the workout. I'm not just doing it for aesthetics. I've said this 1,000 times the past couple days, but I think that was always secretly in the back of my head of why I was working out. You know, I'd walk by a mirror. I grew up a dancer. I'm in front of the mirror all the time. So I'm like, how do I look? Ooh, am I bloated? Am I this? Am I that? And that truly went out the window after having kids. And also, I'm sure I would have evolved anyway as I got older and just feel more comfortable in my body. But now when I show up to my workout, I'm like, okay, I want to be here and I want to feel really good after. That doesn't just mean I want to look good. I actually want to feel really good and feel strong to move through my day and just in alignment and good energy. I feel you get the energy flowing. And so all of it is just I show up with more intention, and I give myself grace on days that I'm like, I don't want to show up today.
There are many days I don't want to show up.
There are days where I'm like, I don't want to show up today. I don't have the energy. It doesn't feel like it's for the right intention. And I'm like, okay, so why am I showing up? I'm not going to today. And that doesn't derail my progress. That doesn't derail my workout from yesterday. I'm going to show up tomorrow. So, or maybe I'll go sit on my mat and just meditate or stretch and like move my body.
I love that because sometimes I went through a really hard period, like through 2020. Everyone. And then in 2021 with my mom and everything. And I literally was like, I'm never working out again. But then to get myself back into it, what you said, showing up on your mat. And I was like, let me just roll it out and sit there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And guess what happens? You move.
Move a little bit.
Yeah.
That's how my journey back into fitness started. Same thing. I was like, just go for 5 minutes just to like try to feel like yourself again. So I have like all the same things that Tori's saying. I work out for such different reasons now. I actually can't believe how much was hiding in me, like that it really was actually about appearance before. It's kind of like embarrassing to admit because I didn't think it was. But when I contrast who I am now, like it's solely for strength. Because there's things like I was picking Kai out of the bathtub and almost pulled my back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's time to do some strength workouts. So for that, and then feeling like myself again and returning to like the athlete that I am, it's kind of like parts of myself when you take those breaks in life, which I think is pretty important, going through the rhythms of it and being okay with that. You get excited. I just got excited to like returning to parts of me that were kind of dormant for a little bit, which for me is the athlete in me. And so it feels really good. And I feel like myself when I'm working out now, which is great. Not like I'm trying to do this for somebody else or to look like somebody else.
I love that too, because I feel like, at least like some of us here, I mean, Stef, you're just like a freaking go-getter getting ready for the marathon. But like taking that step back and finding yourself again in fitness and like the why, but also allowing to have that break and rebelling against yourself. I mean,
yeah, it was weirdly important. It's
and
like,
there's probably a lot of people that experience the same thing. And
Yeah.
so coming back to, okay, I'm ready now.
yeah.
This chapter is about trying to push my body to the furthest extent that is healthfully possible. So right now I'm very performance driven. Having said that, I can take it back to a couple years, like when we were first getting acquainted with Tone It Up. And I was a college basketball player. I didn't quite fit in that arena. I was always a little bit smaller, always a little bit too thin. And then I left basketball and I went into fitness modeling, much like you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So with each identity transition comes different identity crises, I guess. So as a fitness model, all of a sudden I was too muscular after a lifetime of being too small.
That too.
Yeah. Literally told by an agency, like, I know you're booking all these fitness jobs, but we could really pitch you better if you just weren't as. I'm like, what? That is my DNA. My mom's built like a strong woman, and apple don't fall far from the tree. So I think this version of my coaching self and my fitness self is understanding that I can just be myself. And it doesn't sound revolutionary, but it is. Like, it plays into my friendships and my current relationship. I didn't know that I could be someone's partner or, yay, fiance, and let them know all of me. And so fitness is what I feel like it should be for me now. And I just want to see in these next couple years, while my body is strong and healthy, and yes, I dabble in injuries from pushing it too far, but just want to see what's possible. So I'm really into the endurance sports, into the marathon. I'm going to follow suit and jump in a triathlon at some point.
I know.
Thanks,
we were
Karena.
talking about that over the past few days.
Yeah.
Of course, Stef is like, I'm going to do an Ironman. I'm like, maybe start at a half.
Yeah, 0 to 100 with me. But I think every time I do push it too far, I'm also humbled and have to find grace and power and the recovery and the learnings from each failure. And I think what's different now is I have a really positive friendship with failure, and I want to keep doing it and keep learning.
I love that. Having a positive friendship with failure.
So good.
I think,
So good.
the last times we would hang out, it's like this performance based, like, look a certain way, be a certain person, say a certain thing. Like, and I feel like for this, it was so important for me to, it's new year, new TIU, but it's to be who you already are and allowing every one of us, every woman out there, you're perfect as you are. And I think deep down, let me know your thoughts on this. Like, deep down, we know who we are, but we're so afraid.
Yes, because we look at other people or we see these things and we get these creative sparks in our heart and we're like, well, I have to change who I am or I have to be something different. And when you get those sparks or those feelings, it's because it's in you and it's who you are. And that's the whole point of the TIU, be the new
You, who you already are.
TIU. Sorry, it's a tongue twister for me.
I know it is. 'Cause we're all,
You had to pause. I paused for a second. But yeah, it's in you already. It's not this outward thing that you have to change and chase and be. It's just unleashing and discovering and being honest with yourself and finding the new version of you who's already in there. It's just a new flourished version.
My tip for that, because this is kind of what the last few years have looked like for me, is discovering or rediscovering who I am, because there can be kind of a scary moment for a second if you really want to go on that journey where I'm like, I only know who I am for other people and what other people expect and want of me. That really was like the story of my life. Yeah. And so the last few years has been like, whoa, it's almost like a blank canvas. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to put on it. I can make this for somebody else, but what's inside of me? And so it's okay if for a second you just start asking yourself and like rediscovering the things that light you up and that love you or that you love. And that's just a part of the journey. If for a second,
well,
it's
that's the
like,
importance of like the pause too, that we were just talking about. It's okay to pause. I think sometimes, and I know for me in my younger days, it's like, well, look, that's working. So that's how I have to be, or that's working. That's how I have to be. Oh my gosh, I have to be more fit because look, you're booking job. Okay. And I have to be this. And when you can pause and step back, then you can do all of that and be like, oh, this is who I am. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to work. I just have to be confident in that.
I would agree. Like a lot of a lot of profound moments happen in the pause. And Karena, we were talking about this the other day, that, instead of retaliating or being reactive toward anyone who's coming at you with weird energy, just step away, communicate, but take a pause and notice how much power comes from the ability just to be calm and quiet and come back with a really mature and authentic response. Yeah, I think the power is in the pause.
I think you just came up with my new meditation series name, The Power in the Pause.
Love that.
Right? Oh, that was fun. And yes, it's time to hit pause and make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Just click that subscribe because you don't want to miss part 2. All right. I love you all. And this is just the beginning of hanging out more. Leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment in the notes on YouTube of other guests you want to have on the podcast, questions you have. And again, there's always speakpipe.com/Karena Dawn. I love you. And this is not goodbye because we are still working out every day and meditating in your Tone It Up app. So I'll see you there. This is Tone It Down.